84,000-ton liner Queen Elizabeth enters New York Harbor as a Navy blimp hovers overhead, observing the packed decks of the giant vessel, which is carrying almost 15,000 soldiers and medical and naval personnel. As usual, a rousing welcome awaits the returning soldiers, the majority of whom are members of America's famed 8th Air Force. Although most of these men will be redeployed to the Pacific, it's home sweet home for a little while at least. Aboard a ferry, they start for Camp Kilmer, New Jersey, from which point they will leave for their furloughs home. These are the men who sweated out to keep them flying. America is proud of them. Continued rain on Okinawa transforms the dusty terrain into soupy, sticky mud. Men and vehicles fight doggedly to deliver armor and supplies to the front lines, where their comrades are battling fiercely to wipe out the last remnants of fanatic Jap detachments who are bent on suicide rather than honorable surrender. Ordinarily, roads such as these would hold up the Yank advance for days. But despite these grim scenes, everyone was determined on victory, and combined effort won the fight against the elements, and very shortly things were rolling along once more. General Buckner left with General Stilwell, who commands the 10th Army since Buckner's death a few days before victory was in sight. After the artillery, the troops take over, driving Jap snipers from their caves in the hills. Many native Okinawans are discovered in hiding. Signal Corps, Air Force, Navy, and Marine cameramen combine to record these scenes of the Japs' last days on the island. Captured American cigarettes are found on civilians, proving they collaborated with our enemies. Internment is their reward. Discovered alone in a war-torn building by an infantryman of the 10th Army, this battle baby is carried to a headquarters military government hospital where he meets a pal. Both receive medical aid from civilian nurses trained by our Army doctors. And pillowcase 90s are all the rage for the younger set. Clean and comfortable once more, it's time for chow, with peace again on Okinawa. The never-ending air campaign against Japan's stolen empire continues as B-24s hammer installations in the Palau Islands. Despite fierce anti-aircraft fire, 86% hits were registered in the target area. But the raid is destined to cost one of the planes. Even as bombs fall, the big ship is hit and loses a wing. Air Force pictures show the tragic death dive as only one crew member escapes. Britain unveils another carefully guarded war secret. This 11-ton monster bomb, which needs a crane to place it in the bomb bay of the specially constructed plane, was perfected a short time before VE Day and only used a few times against Germany. The bomb buries itself deep in the ground and produces a series of explosions that can wipe out a small town. The following pictures show its volcanic effect in an attack on Arnsberg, Germany. The remnants of the viaduct. The Grand Slam is Britain's gift to Tokyo. Accompanied by his family, Robert E. Hannigan, chairman of the Democratic National Committee, is sworn in at Washington as Postmaster General of the United States by Associate Justice Wiley Rutledge of the Supreme Court. Hannigan is one of the 5 new cabinet appointees made by President Truman since taking office. Another, Tom C. Clark of Texas, former assistant to Francis Biddle, is sworn in as Attorney General. He receives the oath from Judge Thurman Arnold while his proud family stands by. Sworn in by Judge Sherman Minton, Louis B. Schwellenbach succeeds Francis Perkins as Secretary of Labor. The new secretary was formerly senator from the state of Washington, and later a federal judge appointed by President Roosevelt. The new Secretary of Agriculture, Clinton P. Anderson, is sworn in by Judge Rutledge and congratulated by Judge Vinson. Mr. Anderson was previously representative from New Mexico. In addition to agriculture, he will also take over the functions of the former War Food Administration. In an atmosphere of movie glamour, the Santa Anita Handicap, the West Coast's race of the year, is all set to thrill 55,000 fans in the $100,000 Classic. Watch number 4. It's his day to burn up the track. And they're off, nicely bunched, with Stronghold taking a short early lead, trailed by Lou Bray and Victory Drive. But keep your eye on number 4, running easily in 4th place, with Jockey Longden giving him a smart ride. $790,000 have been wagered on this race, a record for any single race on a Hollywood track. Joey Brown must have a fair piece of it. Now they're in the back stretch. Number 4, Thumbs Up, has taken the lead and battles it out with Texas Sandman. Gay Dalton has come from the tail end to bid for show money. Right down to the finish, that's the order. But Thumbs Up had to tie Seabiscuit's track record to cop the race.